Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, the 4th of February already. Can't even believe it. It's already February. We survived January. Success! We're going to count that as a win to make it through. Well, welcome to Level Up Live. I appreciate everyone who is coming in. So let's go over to the chat and let's say good morning to folks. So John Gaylor is here first. Good morning, John. Thank you for coming in. And Scott Smith is here driving and listening. Be careful out there. Appreciate you being here. Folks saying good morning to each other. And Denise is here. Denise, I hope you're feeling better. Congratulations on the better weather. Captain Controversy is here. Hi, how are you? And Deb Rogers, hi, how are you coming in? Oh, fantastic. You guys were on the CME raid. I actually didn't get a chance to see anybody's shows this morning. So thank you so much for coming in off of the raid. So thanks, and folks saying good morning. So Ross is here with Orange Cone Blog. Hey, howdy, hey, everyone. Fantastic to have you here. And Chet and Robin with Sea Leg Journeys are here. Happy Tuesday to you as well. And It's a Cruise Life is here. Thank you for coming in. Morning, guys. Thanks for being here. And Kathy Mills is here. Thanks for being here as well. And Kurt and Marcia, thank you for being here. I'm sorry I missed you guys this morning. I'll have to catch the replay. Captain Billy J. Travels is here. The real captain is here. How are you doing today, sir? Great to have you here. Folks saying hi to each other. And I see Aaron Smith is here. Good morning, working and lurking. Great to have you here. And Chet, squeak, squeak. Gotta love the double squeakies from Chet. That's an awesome thing to have. So thank you so much for coming in, all of you. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to the channel if you like what I'm doing, and give it a thumbs up if you're enjoying the content. Also, keep in mind that I've got Nightbot running. So if you would like to drop your link so other people can find you, just do hashtag tribe, TRIBE, and it will drop your link. So I appreciate that so much. So what I wanted to talk about today is mindset matters. So how our mindset can impact things. So Ron, thanks for coming in. DeFam Adventures, fantastic. Awesome to have you here. And thank you for dropping your links. I appreciate it. You guys finding each other, that is outstanding. That's exactly the way to do it. So on Jimmy's show, The Astute Tourist, he always talks about PMA at the end of his show and positive mental attitude and how that impacts things and how that impacts life. And I wanted to talk a little bit about mindset because I think mindset really plays a big part, not only as we're leveling up, but also in another area that we talk about a lot on this show, which is chronic illness. And I think that mindset can definitely play a part with that as well, and how you deal with those things and how you cope with those things and all of that. So if anybody has some ideas for how they kind of Captain Billy, PMA is better than PMS, but not as good as PDA. Very true, Captain. Very true. So if you have ideas for beyond just PMA, if you do other things to alter your mindset, for example, meditation, EFT tapping, if people do physical activities like yoga or Pilates or things like that, exercise in other ways to work out. If you walk, whatever you do to kind of alter your mindset and to keep things going and to keep things moving. I'm interested in hearing more about that. Now, I have actually fallen off my habit of meditation. I'm trying to get back onto that now and working my way back up to meditation. I'm still just doing a few minutes right now because I'm out of practice. So it's really, I got to get back into it and get back into that mindset. I was going really well for a while there, and I was up to meditating for anywhere between 15 and 30 minutes in the morning, and it was really helping. But quite honestly, right now, picking it back up, I can only meditate for a couple of minutes at a time before my mind just really starts wandering. So Deb is saying, I'm learning all about the inner critic at the moment and trying to manage that. The inner critic, oh my goodness. I think we all have our inner critic, and people can deal with it differently. I worked with someone who had me name my inner critic. So when I was hearing that voice, I actually had a name that I associated with it. So John is saying he tried meditation but always fell asleep within 2 minutes. I wish I could fall asleep that easily, John. You know, my husband falls asleep like that. He lays down and just head hits the pillow and there we go. Captain Billy is a critic of Kurt. Kurt. That is true. You always manage to somehow come up with a critique of Kurt and a compliment to Miss Marcia. So it's fascinating. Yes, that's correct. I've called mine Oscar. Mine is Estelle. Mine is Estelle. It is that is the voice. She's a female voice. So that's interesting, Deb. I'm fascinated to hear more about like inner critic and all of that stuff. So yeah, Captain Billy is truly a Kurt critic. Oscar the Grouch from Sesame Street. That's fantastic. I think that's a great idea. Billy coming in. Hey, Billy, how are you today? So you use your conscience, your conscience. Well, conscience is a part of it as well as far as the inner voice and the inner guidance. But when I'm talking about inner critic, I I'm talking more about like the inner voice that's telling me what I can't do and what I can't accomplish. So folks saying good morning, Estelle, picture it. 1923, Sicily. Little bit. It's a little bit of that. So the meditation tape I used was given me by a hypnotist. Oh, okay. So no wonder you were able to fall asleep so easily. So that's very helpful. It helps with your mindset when you know what you are dealing with. Well, the negativity of my inner critic is, I don't know for other people, but it definitely is a loud voice sometimes. And I agree with Chet here. I don't focus on the negative. I redirect my thoughts to positive, often using humor. I do the same thing when I catch myself that when I catch myself hearing my inner critic, it wants to keep you in your comfort zone. I talk back to it now and I'm like, come on, Estelle, that's not the way it's going. And I do use humor to kind of address that. So I'm always criticizing myself, and my id doesn't take criticism very well, where my ego is very laissez faire. I understand that, Ross. Me too. I'm the same way. I have a very loud inner critic, but I try and talk her off the ledge on a pretty regular basis. And that is something that I do work with someone on, because it is, I think, part of evolution and part of mindset. I love the idea of having positive mental attitude and kind of talking back to that negative critic and making sure that the negative critic is not overwhelming what it is that you're going to be doing. So, Bruce with Ocean Travel coming in. Bruce, thank you so much for joining us. We're talking about mindset matters, and we're talking about the inner critic. So, everybody saying good morning to Bruce. So nice to have you here. So, what else do people use or do they do for things like inner critic and inner mindset? So my inner critic looks to push me over the edge all the time. I push back. I agree, Ross. My inner critic can be pretty loud. And sometimes I have to find that I have to kind of shout at Estelle to be heard because it's definitely a loud voice. Tom and Terry coming in. Hi, good morning. So great to have you here. Oh, and Denise is here. My inner critic sounds like my mother. Imagine that. Yeah, that I can imagine. All too well, Denise. All too well. I would say that Estelle is actually an older relative of mine who's no longer with us, but she always had this super negative voice, and she was just perfect for she was just perfect for my inner critic name. So Deb is saying, I thank my inner critic, but tell Oscar I don't need to hear from him today. That's a great way to do it. That's definitely a great way to do it. It's you don't want to get mired in the inner critic and in what that is entailing. So, what else can we do to kind of silence the inner critic, to encourage the positive mental attitude? And also, that positive mental attitude, I think, goes a long way with, as I said before, both leveling up, so as we are getting older, and for our environment if we're dealing with chronic illness, because we really do need to build up that inner voice, to make it louder, the one that's fighting the inner critic. So the inner voice needs to speak up against the inner critic all too well. So Chet's saying, I don't have an inner critic. Sometimes that old devil will try to lie to me, but I trust God's word over those lies. That's another way of looking at it, Chet. That's very positive, and absolutely, positivity is definitely the way to go. However you embrace that, however you rule with that, is the way to go. So John says, I spent so long working with people in crisis and what systems have done to them, I can never let my own inner system come out. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's seeing what people have been through in crisis mode is a heavy burden. It's a lot to bear. I know my sister works with, at one point in her career, she worked for, she's been with the Department of Justice for many years, but she worked with the fraud division for Medicaid and really saw some incredible stuff. So incredibly bad stuff. I think to surround yourself with as much positivity as possible, but it's also very normal not to be happy and positive every day. Absolutely agree with that, Deb. You can't be smiling all the time. So my inner critic is like a cruise director from hell. Instead of announcing fun activities, it just announces all the embarrassing things I might do, followed by a dramatic dun dun dun. That's I can relate to that too, Captain. And that is really interesting, John, that you had gone through so much and seen so much of what other people went through that it ends up skewing your own mental attitude and your own internal voice. So that is super funny, and I appreciate your sense of humor, Billy. Definitely remember Nightbot is running, and if you drop hashtag tribe, it will drop your link so other people can find you. So, or wanting a sweepstake or two if you're Captain Billy J, that will definitely adjust the attitude. So, yes, Scott, that will adjust an attitude too. Um, Definitely. Now, I am starting to feel a little bit under the weather. I apologize, and I am going to cut out early today. Um, my my chronic illnesses are flaring up horribly, so I am going to cut out early today. I appreciate all of you coming in. I really do. Please remember to smash that like if you like what I'm doing here. And I appreciate you coming in. I will see you all on Thursday for another level up. Thanks so much. I know you guys understand, and I appreciate it. Oh, shoot, Denise, you're home with the flu? Shoot, that's terrible. Oh, positive note, you lost 4 pounds since last Monday. That's awesome, Billy. Take care. Okay, squeaky, double squeaky power to me, Jen. Thank you. Thank you so much. And TNT is definitely in 11 days before the cruise and almost ready for the Chicago Creator Dinner on Saturday. Appreciate that. And thank you, John Gaylor, for reminding us that Eddie is going to be live at the top of the hour. So make sure you go over and see him. Thank you all so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.